Welcome to Crosstalk on Enterprise TV. Kingsley Bass is my name. Today we turn attention one more time to Rivers State, a very strategic state in Nigeria, located south Nigeria. This state is for the past 14 or more months, close now to 24 months, has been in some major crisis, and that's a major conversation in the country right now. There's been the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by President Bola Tinubu, citing Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. That's been debated judicially, still being debated by lots of persons in the country, especially those within the judicial space. I'm talking lawyers, legal practitioners. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian Bar Association has commented on that, and that it is worrisome the path that the president has taken, suspending the governor, his deputy, and lawmakers for 6 months. Well, the Attorney General of the Federation, that's Lateef Fagbemi, senior advocate of Nigeria, has supported the president on this. Well, some have said, oh, he's an appointee of the president. What more will he do? Oh, well, let's get talking about this today. Let's debate this emergency rule declared by President Bola Tinubu and the suspension of the state governor, his deputy, as well as lawmakers. I'm joined today by very patriotic Nigerians to discuss this on Crosstalk. I know what happens on Crosstalk. We debate matters like this, matters of national importance. I'm joined first by political commentator Prince Francis Chilaka. Many thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Basti. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Also part of the conversation today is political commentator Benga Yonuga Paul. Benga, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Good day.
Appreciate that. All right, so let's get down to the conversation, shall we? Again, I've got the fine gentlemen, very patriotic Nigerians, though not from Rivers State, but very concerned about major happenings in the country, especially when it comes to politics and the economy, of the country. Well, let me begin with you, Prince Francis Chilaka. You in support of what the president did on Tuesday, March 15, 2025. Do you think that should have that should stand? Do you think that should be reversed?
The closure is that the House of Rep has endorsed it. The Senate has equally endorsed it. So, you know, there's really nothing anybody can do. What it boils down to is that, like a lot of people have postulated, we seem to have an executive arm that is lording it over the judiciary and the legislature. Because, you know, if the Senate can wake up and say, oh, we agree, it brings us back to what the Senate president said when they started this 10th assembly, that whatever Mr. President throws at them will get an approval. You know, so I keep asking myself, who are they representing? Are they representing the interest of Nigerians?
I thought that was the president of the 9th Assembly, Ahmed Lawan, who mentioned that, who said that, who made that statement.
No, I thought they did the same. Go and check.
Oh well.
Go and cross check.
Oh well, I'm going to have to fact check that.
You know. Yes. So the truth of the matter is that it's a power play. And you know, anyhow we want to look at it, the issue of godfatherism is a big question that we need to find an answer to. We know what is playing out in Lagos, where the speaker was impeached and the president said he must come back as speaker. So this issue of godfatherism in our politics is the bane of our development as a nation. And we need to do something about it. The people need to begin to claim their right of sovereignty. Otherwise, we just have a political class that becomes too powerful and only give you some part of that power during the campaign. After the campaign, you know what happens. A lot of them change their phone numbers. A lot of them change their addresses. A lot of them becoming unreachable and untouchable. And this is the result of what I call the just 1999 Constitution. The Constitution that gives from the right and takes from the left. Decree 24 put together as a constitution for a nation. And nobody, right from Obasanjo time to now, they have not been able to look at those flaws in that constitution and throw them away. I will keep running with it. A country where the oppressed are always hailing and praising their oppressors. How do you want to develop? How do you want to move forward as a nation? These are questions begging for an answer.
All right. So
a situation where the political class have used poverty, institutionalized poverty, to hold the people down.
So you think
look at
that
all the shenanigans going on between look at all the shenanigans going on between Pastor and Akpabio, where you're having protests and counter-protests and all of that. Is this what we call democracy? Is this what leadership should be? We have lost it as a nation. Let us be very honest ourselves.
So to be
we have lost it as a people.
To be clear,
lost it as leaders. We have lost it as a nation.
Prince Francis, to be clear, you do not support the declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers by the president.
No, I do not. I do not. It is not democratic. And the reasons proffered by Mr. President are not enough grounds for the declaration of state of emergency.
He said he had the security, the meeting with security chiefs. In that meeting too was the president of the Senate, the president of the Senate, as well as the speaker of the House of Representatives. And, you know, he got security reports. You're not satisfied with that reason? He said that was one of the reasons. The security report he got was not pleasant, and so he had to quickly do something so that the state does not catch fire.
Okay, Basi, you see what's happening in the north, where bandits, the Boko Haram, are holding siege, traumatizing, killing, kidnapping Nigerians. The only reason why your president went into Rivers State and declared state of emergency is because of oil. How many months down the line, you've had insecurity in the southeast, you've had sit at home, you have had unknown gunmen holding sway. And what state? Why was state of emergency not declared? So these are questions.
All right.
We're asking.
All right. Binga, the question comes to you now. How do you respond to this?
In any of the states that you have mentioned, has there been any state where the sitting governor, who is supposed to be the chief security officer of the state, been actively or surreptitiously giving signal to say he is the one supporting, or he will support or give signal to those who will put the state on fire? When a governor puts the state's youth on notice and say, don't worry, when these people come, I will tell you when to attack. And then, after some times, we started seeing attack on pipeline. Like I've said, people are looking at warfare from the perspective of war in the olden days. But for those who have been following the what is happening on the international scene, you will see that war is no longer fought with gun anymore. There are economic wars that are taking place between the US and China every day. And the way each country handles it will show who wins or who loses eventually. So even though there might not be war in the old term or old way that people know it, an economic war has been declared against the nation. And so you expect the president to hold his arm and allow the cancer to metastasize before acting. When the governor of the state did not quickly, even if the governor were to be the one who sent them to go and blow up those places where there were conflagrations. Even if it were the governor that sent them, if he had been a smart politician, he would also be the first to come and condemn it on the media to say, what are you guys doing? I don't know about this. We need help. And then he would have been able to have a higher moral ground to be able to defend himself that I know nothing about this.
Right.
But when we see the first attack, the second attack, and then the third simultaneously happening in a matter of maybe 24 hours to 36 hours, and the governor is not condemning it. So you expect the president to hold his arms? I say no. The governor had it coming. And I believe that he would have handled the situation a lot better. In politics, forget about people, trying to tell you that this is the ideal. Nothing is ideal in this life. Nothing. Not even the law. Not the law. Not the law of the land. Not even the law. Not even the law. If the law were to be ideal, they will make one law, and then there will be no need for constant amendment and readjustment of the law from time to time.
All right, Prince Francis.
No, you raised the pertinent issue, and I'm going to take you up on that. You talked about the governor being the chief security officer. Benga, let us stop lying to ourselves. There is no governor in Nigeria that is the chief security officer. There is no governor that can control the commissioner of police. No governor. That governor does not exist. You and I know the truth. So when people come out and say the governor is the chief security officer, it's just by name, not by action.
But we've seen every governor forming security apparatus, vigilante group in their states and arming them. Haven't we seen?
We're talking about you say chief security officer, please be definitive. There is no governor in Nigeria today that is a chief. If you have Omotekun in Oyo or whatever, and you have what do they call Abubagu, those are ragtag security networks set up by the governors. But we're talking in terms of federal government. We're talking in terms of controlling police, controlling the army, controlling the navy, controlling even the national defense. No governor has power over them. Moreover, you said the governor gave tactical approval. Please, I'd like to see please, can you show me a video where the governor opened his mouth and said they should go and attack pipelines? Please.
He does not need to open his mouth and say go and attack pipelines.
You are insinuating. Every speech the governor has made, Benga, let's go back to YouTube and check all his speech. He has always asked for the people to maintain peace. He has always.
It was when they received the copy of the Supreme Court report that his tone began to change. His initial tone was that youths keep calm, but when it is time, I will tell you when to strike.
But Benga, can that be said? Is it a fair? Yeah. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm sorry.
Statement enough.
Yes.
It's enough nail on his coffin.
All right. Well, yes. Of a truth, the governor did say that. He did first calm the youth, told them to be calm, and then said something in that line. I cannot quote him verbatim at the moment, but he did say that, when the time comes, they'll be told what to do. But Wenga, is it a fair assessment to say that the governor was tactically calling for violence with that statement? Could it not be, could it not be interpreted to say that, please do stay calm. When the time is ripe, I would address the situation.
Well, you might want to say that, but if you use your tongue to count your teeth and not hide behind the finger, you and I know that the governor was referring to the youths, and with all the youth organization, various youth organization, coming to say heaven will fall and even individuals, traditional rulers, people like Asari Dokubo, who were implicitly or otherwise saying heaven will fall, which also brought out the statement, the counter statement from the minister, who is the former governor, that heaven will not fall if anything happens. You see, people who don't have anything to lose can push the governor, but the buck stop on his table. And if he has allowed himself to be pushed to the extent that the president would have no choice than to declare a state of emergency, I believe he had it coming. I believe he brought it upon himself, because I know for sure that he could have handled the situation a whole lot better, that he would be so victorious and all his detractors will lose, because he is not the first state governor to have an overbearing godfather.
All right.
And some people handle their overbearing godfather in such a way that the godfather had no choice than to even give them a second time.
Now that you're raising this issue of godfatherism,
okay,
let's say, and I want you to be very, very sincere to me about it. If for any reason Wike was not in this cabinet as a minister, would he have wielded the same power he's wielding today?
That questions will be hard to answer definitively. You understand? Because he might still not be in the cabinet and wielded the same power. Don't forget that Asiwaju was not in any cabinet after leaving governorship in 2007. Yet he wielded so much power even during the time of Governor Fashola, his immediate successor. But because Fashola was a smart man, a wise man, an intelligent man, he was able to handle the whole situation, so much so that in 2011, it was either Asiwaju gave Fashola a second-term ticket or goes to the opposition, and Asiwaju was forced, not willingly, but because Fashola was able to handle the situation, the overbearingness and all the rest. It was even alleged during Fashola's time that the Asiwaju will say Lagos wants to go and sleep whenever he wants to go to. It was alleged. We don't know how true that is. But we had a governor, a successor, who understood his place and understood how to reshape things from the inside without sentiment, without calling for.
All right.
Let you and I reason.
Yes.
And I think it is time Nigerians begin to reason. Are we now saying that we are opening our eyes and our minds and our hearts to accept godfatherism in our political life?
Tell me one state where there is no godfatherism that had as much success or more success than the state that had godfatherism running. Everybody is running to Lagos today. Everybody wants to come and do business and establish in Lagos today because there is a godfatherism system that kept Lagos working properly and in line. Is that who are trying to be ideal, who are trying to be sentimental and be saying that there is no room for God. My state. Are you a Lagosian? Yes, I'm a Lagosian.
You said Ogun State before. Are you a Lagosian?
I am a Lagosian. I am an Ogun State person. If you want to know,
are you a Lagosian? Yes,
I am a Lagosian.
Gentlemen,
I am from Epe local government. Yes, and my grandparents are from the royal family in Epe. We are not just anyhow citizen. We are royal. I am of royal blood.
Benga, calm down. Benga, calm down. You and I, we want to reason together.
Okay.
Now, looking at what has played out in the Lagos State House of Assembly, as a Lagosian, Benga, remove sentiments. Are you happy?
You don't have to be happy with every result.
No. I ask a direct question. Yes or no?
I am a Lagosian who wants to see Lagos work.
No.
All right, gentlemen.
Who is not interested in
gentlemen.
my state on fire.
Gentlemen.
Okay.
Okay.
Who are after happiness, they cannot go to work on Mondays.
Okay, Prince Francis and Benga. Benga, please.
I am a Lagosian who wants to see solution.
Okay, Benga.
So when we have challenges, even if I am not happy, my own personal happiness does not superimpose the success of my state on the long run. So we look further into the future rather than immediate gains.
All right, Benga.
And when the time comes, we know how to beat our political leaders when they deserve to be killed.
Okay.
And they too know that we will support power, and that is why they are always ready to talk to us when we are ready. And because we are the people who know time, and so sometimes we know when to crawl into our shell and pretend as if all is well. We know when to come out with our cane, and then they will know that they will be done for if they don't listen.
Okay.
But above all, we want peace in our state, so sometimes we'll keep quiet.
I put it to you.
Rather than claim rights.
And I stand by what I'm going to say to you. I put it to you.
Yes.
That those who have ruled Lagos for donkey years now are not Lagosians. And secondly, those who keep promoting ideals in Lagos.
First and foremost, your first assertion is wrong because you don't know the history of Lagos. Your first assertion is wrong.
Okay, gentlemen.
Obasa is from Lagos. If you want explanation, I would explain to you.
All right, okay. No, Benga, hold your thoughts for me, please.
No, he has asked the question.
Hold your thoughts for me 1 second, please. Please just hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts. You get the chance. You get the chance to do this. Hold your thoughts, please. All right, so that we don't lose focus of the conversation. I mean, you, like Prince Francis said, you had the chance to reason together, but let's not lose, focus of the conversation, which is River State now, you will get the chance. You will get the chance, Benga. Just hold your thoughts for me, please, so that the River State people watching the program would not, feel offended that we started a conversation talking about River State, and now we have made things the Lagos thing. They might be vexed with the president now that the president has declared a state of emergency and is a Lagos boy. So, so that they won't lose focus. So very quickly, in just 2 minutes or less, would quickly wrap this conversation, like you said, for posterity's sake, and just to wrap on this thought on the Lagos polity. Let's very quickly talk about that. What's your response to Prince Francis Chilaka about Lagos and the leadership structure which has existed?
Lagos,
how so?
We know it today.
Yes.
Pre-1967, Lagos is just Lagos Island. But the whole of Lagos State today comprises of land belonging to Egba people, Awori people, Ijebu people, and other people. As an Ijebu man, my land extended up to current-day Sandfield. Pre-1967, it was my forefather that owned Epe, that owned it up to Sandfield. The Egba owned the whole of all those Abesan, Abule Egba, and all the rest. It even shows in the name. The Awori owns the whole of Agege, Ketu, the Oku owns the whole of Badagry, and in 1967, when they brought all of those entities, cut them from Western region to make Lagos State, would you now say that people who are Egba, whose land have now been merged with Lagos State, Ijebus, whose land have now been merged with Lagos State, that they are not Lagosian?
All right.
Lagos, as we know, people who don't know history will just talk and say because Lagos of old started from Yaba, ended at Glova.
All right then.
Lagos in fact, started at Ebute Meta to Glova. That was the original Lagos of old. Their territory, their land.
All right then.
1967.
All right then. So, okay, let's refocus the conversation, Benga.
Obasa is not from Lagos, or Sanwo-Olu or Fashola is not from. Then you are, because you don't know the history of the people.
Okay then. Let's refocus the conversation, gentlemen. So let's get back to River State real quick. Let's get back to River State real quick and wrap the conversation now. The sole administrator in Rivers, Vice Admiral Iborete Ibas from Cross River State, retired by the way, from Cross River State, former High Commissioner to Ghana, former Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana, and former Chief of Naval Staff under the then President Muhammadu Buhari, has resumed duty in River State. He's been told, we've been told by the nation has been told by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, that those allocations stopped by the Central Bank of Nigeria by the Supreme Court through the Central Bank of Nigeria, or the order given to the Central Bank to stop the allocation due to Rivers State, can now be given to the state for the administrator to use to administer the affairs of the state. Prince Francis, let me come to you. Are you comfortable with this? Because one of the reasons why the Supreme Court stopped the allocation in the first place is because the Supreme Court said the governor did not properly present the budget, and so you can't be spending money meant for the state without an approval by representatives of the people at the state assembly. So, are you comfortable with the logic now put forward by the Attorney General?
Well, let me for now talk Benga's line, where nothing seems to be what it is, where the laws themselves are not sacrosanct. We do not have perfect law. We do not have perfect people. We do not have perfect leadership. But you see, what has played out also is that the federal government has also played to the gallery. They have played to the gallery. So, in disbursing the funds, you put the cart before the horse. You understand what I'm saying? The federal government made a pronouncement. They started initiating their pronouncement even before getting the approval of the Senate and the House of Rep.
The constitution permits that, so to say. First,
simply because they know that once they go to the House of Rep and go to the Senate, they will get the approval they want.
Since the president of the Senate and Speaker was there.
Let me come back to your question.
Your
question is that, first and foremost, I think it was too early and too fast to release funds. The man should have been allowed to go into the state, settle down, spend a week or two studying the state, and know what to do. That's the ideal thing to do. But then, what do I know? Like I keep telling people, right now, I am sick and tired of talking about Nigeria. I am sick and tired of people who come and tell me, let us pray for Nigeria. Because when people say those things, it infuriates me, it annoys me.
All right.
I'm sick and tired of, our votes not counting in this nation. I'm sick and tired of a country where we elect people and the process and procedure of calling them back is impossible.
Okay.
I'm sick and tired of an obnoxious constitution that is taking us backwards rather than taking us forward. So I am right now sick and tired of everything called Nigeria.
Let's hear from Benga so we can wrap the conversation. Benga, very quickly, your thoughts.
I think what the Attorney General has simply said is that if the new administrator requests for the funds of River State released to him, not that it has been released already to him.
It has been released already. It's in the news. It's in the news, Benga. Please just check your facts.
What the Attorney General said is that if he requests, it will be released to him. So if it has been released to him, it means the guy came in and saw a need to hit the ground running and has requested. It is just simple. I am speaking to what the Attorney General said. The Attorney General said, if this guy requests, we will give it to him. If the guy has requested and it has been given to him, there is no law. It's an extraordinary situation. For the elected official, there is a process before they can spend the money. They need to have a budget and it has to be up. So it's a different kettle of fish entirely because the sole administratorship is a special purpose vehicle. That is why it is not going to be something that they will say the sole administration should give out the remaining life of this government. So the maximum they can do within the ambience of the law is that 6 months. Then they will now come back if there is need for renewal. But if so it's a special purpose vehicle, and the law that applies to it is different from the law that applies to the duly elected. I believe that what we need more than ever now is for the warring party, both the executive and the legislative, to see how they can resolve their issues quickly, not because it is convenient. You see, politicians don't care about the interests of the people, and I'm not asking them to care about the interests of the people right now. I am saying they should care about their own interest, which is winning election and winning re-election. If people do not like you, how do you come back to face them? If you are the one that brought this shameful sole administratorship issue into town, as a member of the House of Assembly, not willing to, bend a little with the for the executive, or as a member of the executive, how do you then go back to the people to say you want them to vote for you again? We have less than 2 years to the next election, and every one of them are gearing up and preparing for it. So even if they don't have the interest of the people at heart, I will advise them that for their own interest, common sense requires that they should bury their hatchet. They should find a way to find a common ground where both the executive and the legislative arm will say, okay, we are tired of fighting. We want restoration of order in our state. Such that when this 6 months sole administratorship expires, there will not be need for any further extension because people are still grandstanding. That's my own advice.
All righty, gentlemen. We'll just leave the conversation there. Of course, a lot to still talk about, a lot of some of the points made to be addressed. For example, the release of the funds, whether or not that has been released. But that's a conversation for later because we've got to go now. Many thanks, gentlemen, for being a part of the conversation today. It's been good hearing your point of view, listening to your point of view on this particular subject matter. I'll just give you, some 30 seconds to wrap your thoughts very quickly. Prince Francis, 30 seconds, please. What's your final take on this particular matter, and what should be done going forward? There are talks. I'm sorry. Just before you comment, very quickly, there are talks already, insinuations that this could extend till 2027. That if there is need, I think that was even mentioned by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. If there is need for another 6 months, it would be extended, right? And people have said, oh, this is about 2027 and the soul of the state. So what do you say finally before we go?
My final thought is I'm going to also stand on what the Senate President has said. He says, when Tinubu is done with Nigeria, many will not recognize it. I stand with him. That's all.
All right. A fine place to leave things. But before we do so, Benga, your final thought. Would that be a quote too?
War does not favor anybody. There is no winner in war. Even the winners only have Pyrrhic victory. So let both parties sheath their sword and not put their state in a precarious situation where they will not be able to hold their own among the committee of states. So it is in their best interest, all warring parties. Wike will not win, Fubara will not win, the presidency will not win. Even the so-called, whoever looks like a winner will only come with Pyrrhic victory. So why settle for Pyrrhic victory when you can all win together by coming together to sit down and speak truth to yourselves and move on?
All right, then. We'll just leave things there. Again, many thanks, gentlemen, for being a part of the show. It's been crosstalk today. Well, let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. Let me know what you think, how you feel about this conversation and what's happening in Rivers State. Political commentator Benga Yonugapo, thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Prince Francis Chilaka, political commentator, thank you for being on the program.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a fantastic one, gentlemen. And yes, Nigeria, indeed, we hope that things get better. We hope that we continue to do the right thing, both elected officials, that every single person. Until next time on Crosstalk, make sure to keep watching Enterprise TV. Kingsley Bass is my name. God bless you.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.